Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Nahu's Holiverse. Just sitting here in my office in an upstairs apartment with an open window, listening to the sound of children outside playing with their creative, spontaneous games, took me back to my own childhood, when I used to roam aimlessly about, or so it would appear to an insensitive adult world. Whether it was down by the river or in the sanctity of the woods, or maybe on the banks of a local swamp, as I recall, it was with intention and a mysteriously hidden purpose. After all, the world about me wasn't as it appeared. No, it was a wonderful place in which I transformed into Bamba the Jungle Boy and communicated with the animals, or rode the current of the Ohio River aboard my own makeshift raft, just like Tom Sawyer. It was a magical place, and it was my special domain to create and be anyone I chose to be, regardless of the fact that in it I dwelled as a monarch in solitary isolation. What was most interesting about this hidden internal world of my own making, it reflected the real inner me. Whether for good or bad, my world evolved this way because, in reality, I didn't really have a nurturing home life. No one took the time to get in touch with the real me. The fact is, at the age of 2, I was taken from my mother, ill with Parkinson's disease, and a father who had degenerated into an irresponsible alcoholic. Thus, all 11 siblings were placed in different foster homes. As a result of this misfortune, my twin brother and I were placed with a foster couple who turned out to be abusive. As a result of constant insensitivity and abuse, my inner life grew with rapidity. Perhaps fantasy was my only way of emotionally surviving a cold, insensitive environment. I also feel that my knowledge of the rich inner life of the neglected child led to the creation of children's books. In creative writing, I found a refuge from my own lost parent-child relationship and a platform from which to send out a cry to adults to wake up and become acquainted with the inner life of your child. Encourage your children to share their unique discoveries and insights, because in these seemingly meaningless fantasies, elements of a healthy adult are born. It still upsets me to hear the harsh sounds of parents yelling and screaming at their children, alienating them. The sad fact remains many children may never get over neglect, emotional abuse, and isolation, especially inner city children who must grow up in a vicious, hardened culture that often exploits their anger rather than encouraging their social self-worth. Without positive influences, the inner child within us becomes stunted and remains as barren as scarred souls that reflect streets full of crime. Clearly stated, we must develop a world that nourishes the child, makes him or her feel welcome co-participants, not fearful of being a person. An undernourished individual in childhood becomes a non-productive and alienated person in adulthood, full of resentment, anger, and frustration, and possibly with an urge to get even against the uncaring world. Children that are nourished with attentive listening and interaction have much to share with us. They will blossom and grow into beautiful co-contributors to the world. In fact, even at a young age, many children bring gifts from their special perspectives filled with unique lessons garnered from life. For example, researchers have discovered that it does not always require intellectual maturation for outstanding gifts to flourish. Children are often born with innate talents. If this was not true, how could a child prodigy like Mozart be discovered, or a talented Indigo child such as Akian, who creates priceless art, or the mathematical wisdom of Srinivasa Ramanujan, and the insights of a Song Yu Gun, the 8-year-old Korean genius of science and math? Who knows, perhaps your child will turn out to be a gifted speaker or leader. But in an environment of disrespect for individuality, Unique talents will not be discovered or released. They become repressed or even worse, crushed by the insensitive pressures of an uncaring world. Listen closely to the wise words of a truly great contributor to human consciousness, Dr. Albert Einstein, who once wrote, "A human being is a part of the whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Nobody is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and the foundation for inner security." As co-contributors to the world spirit, we participate in the collective evolutionary process. Therefore, each individual contribution is equally important. The aim of the book Dolphina's World and Other Stories, a trilogy of stories, is to encourage children to release and express the importance of the worldview of the inner child. To demonstrate this concept in my first story, Dolphina, an island girl, discovers her special purpose as a teacher and storyteller. In the second story, The Magic of the Moment, I explore the fascinating and mystical inner world of children, revealed through the lucid dreams of Little Rain Song. In the final story, The Girl Who Talked to Plants, a little girl's frustration with her parents' inability to understand her gives birth to a special communication discovery. Although these are fictional stories, they reflect my own inner personal world. As a child, I talked with plants. I also sensed that animals have an inner consciousness and explored life through my dreams as many children do. That's why the adventures of Harry Potter were so popular. Children related to the magic of the main characters. As a matter of fact, you will be surprised that by tuning into your child's inner life, you will discover many wonderful things about their secret view of the world. And who knows, perhaps your interest in them may release a Michelangelo Bettillo or a Maya Angelou, a Steven Spielberg, Bobby Fischer, or even a Pablo Picasso. Whatever your communication with your child will be, I am sure you will discover the uniqueness and the magic of their individual perspective. Thank you for dropping by, and have a wonderful evening. Namaste.